All our sheds come with a copper insert in the pressure-treated sill plate, which accommodates the barrel bolt closure on the doors. The floors are all painted with a floor and deck paint. In the corners of all our sheds, it's double studded for strength. Optional windows are available in different sizes. We use 2x6 for the upper plate to better support the roof. Our roof trusses are all bird's mouth to give more strength on the roof, pushing down as opposed to out. Another option is a 10-foot skylight in the ridge of the shed. Again, everything is 2x4 construction, 16 on center. The doors are all 2x4 construction, not 1x2s or 2x2s. All our sheds come with a copper insert in the pressure-treated sill plate, which accommodates the barrel bolt closure on the doors. The floors are all painted with a floor and deck paint. In the corners of all our sheds, it's double studded for strength. Optional windows are available in different sizes. We use 2x6 for the upper plate to better support the roof. Our roof trusses are all bird's mouth to give more strength on the roof, pushing down as opposed to out. Another option is a 10-foot skylight in the ridge of the shed. Again, everything is 2x4 construction, 16 on center. The doors are all 2x4 construction, not 1x2s or 2x2s.
too warm.
Our sheds start with 4x4 pressure-treated skids. The larger ones have 5 skids under them. After getting the 4x4 stringers, pressure-treated stringers in place, then we put the floor joists on. Everything is 2x4 construction and 16 on center. After we get the floor joists on, we start with our Avantec flooring, which has a 50-year warranty and has a good resistance to water.
More popular than that Jolly John fella.
From the Avantec flooring, we go to assembling the sidewalls. We build them, then we stand them up and put them in place. Again, everything is 2x4 construction, 16 on center.
Yeah. The new ones around it, yeah. That's good.
I like it.
After constructed, they get stood up and put in place. Once the framing for the walls are up, we start putting the siding on. High-tech siding, it's smart side, very durable, 50-year warranty. The next step in building a shed. One of Ed's sheds. Our siding comes down and overlaps on the floor joist to give us a sealed seam. After we put the sidewalls up, then we put the trusses on. They overlap the siding, give it more strength. All the trusses are bird's mouth so that they give you better support for your roof. Once the roof rafters are up, then we put the end studs in and put the siding on both ends. But now that our roof rafters are up, we're ready to start that end studs for the walls. We'll finish getting the siding on the very peak there. Then we'll cut the sides off, the extended sides off, and we'll put some trim on. And it'll be time to put the OSB on the roof.
Okay, try that right there. Okay, push them in. Oh.
Putting the OSB on the roof, that's the next step in the shed. Then they trim the excess off the gable ends on the walls, and then they put some trim up so they can put the shingles on. This particular shed will get shingles.
There, just make it even all the way across. Good.
After getting the OSB on the roof, then we turn to painting the siding so that everything on the siding gets painted before we put the trim on. The siding comes primed from the factory, and then we use acrylic latex paint over the top. In the center of this one, you can see on the top on the roof is going to be a skylight. Those things all go in after we get the painting done. Once we got the sides painted and the OSB on the roof, why, we put the trim on the roof, around the roof, and we always put drip edge all the way around the edge of our roofs. This finishes it off better and protects shingles, or makes it look much better, much more finished. The next step after this will be putting the shingles on. And of course this one gets a skylight. We use a layer of starter strip at the bottom of our shingles. Protect them and hold down the shingles better. All the little steps add to the durability and the quality. After the starter strip was put on around the edge of the side roof, we put the shingles on, and if a skylight is ordered, we put a skylight in the roof like this one has. That's an option. After finishing the roof, we put the trim on the sides and put the doors on. Once we've put the doors on, all our sheds have a painted floor with a floor and deck paint and a pressure treated sill. That's standard on every shed. This particular one has an optional window in the back. Our doors are all, one door is barrel bolted, the other door has a lock set in it. And that's a finished shed. We're starting a shed. We've got our 4x4 pressure treated stringers. There's 5 of them across the bottom. Then we go with a 2x4 construction on the floor joists and perimeter. These are all tied in on the ends with spacers between the outside edge and the first stringer. After that, we put our Avantec flooring, which has a 50-year warranty to it. And that's the beginning of a shed. Everything starts on a level base. You can see we've got blocking underneath to level it. So everything is constantly being checked for its levelness, for its squareness. So everything goes together perfectly. Once we get the flooring down, we start building the walls. We build them on the floor and then we stand them up. You can see one wall is already stood up. It's all 2x4 construction. We use a 2x6 on top of the wall. Gives it more stability. Our buildings are all built to conform with most building codes in most areas.
I was turning one of these around. I says, "Oh, sorry," to the tree. I thought I bumped into you. I bumped into the tree.
Our walls get all built ahead of time and then put up. And stood in place and then nailed down.
I got it. That's why I left the cord over here so I can reach it.
Oop. Once we erect the side walls, we put the siding on, which strengthens everything up. Again, this is very high-tech siding, very durable, has a 50-year warranty.
So we get when we build them in the driveway, huh?
Once we get the side walls up with the siding, we put our roof trusses on. The roof trusses overlap on the siding. Joins everything together much better, makes it much stronger.
Narrated video. Go ahead.
Once in a while we drop the tools.
That's why you move it and call you Grace. My mother told me a lot of them up through the ground right next to us. It's got to be cut down. Got to start coming down right up here.
When we put our end walls up, we notch the top of them so that they put more strength out for the ends of the building. This helps on stability. After the end walls were put in, then we went up on the roof and put the OSB on the roof and got it ready for the shingles. Before we do any further work, carpentry work, we usually put a coat of paint on it. And from there we'll put the trim on and then do the shingles. Once we put the trim on the ends of the building, then we turn and we put the roofing on. This particular one has a steel roof. We always put underlayment underneath the steel roofing. And then you can see the hole in the middle of the roof. We have a 10-foot skylight goes in there.
getting mourning doves in your garage earlier too.
Once we get the roofing on, we put the steel cap on, and then we put the ridge vent up there. From there we put the trim down the sides, and you can see they're finishing up putting the doors on. We put barrel bolts on one door, and we put a lock set with key on the other door. And that will just about finish up another shed.
Looking there.
Finishing touch, we put the trim around the doors.
Don't tell that office dude how to dress.
Even when we're building large sheds like 14 by this one 32, why the process is the same. We put the drip edge around the whole roof, we put the same sheathing on top, and run a starter strip, and then the shingles. So the process is exactly the same, whether it's an 8 by 10 or a 14 by unknown. Now we're putting the trim on the outside of this 14 by 32 shed. Again, it's the same process as we do with any size. Little bigger pieces. This particular one has an 8-foot wide door. As you can see, it's a big shed. It'll have double doors, the same as all the other sheds. Our 14-foot sheds normally come with a 8-foot wide door on them. Gives you more room for entering and bringing things in and out, since usually the bigger sheds house bigger units. Again, the same construction as our smaller sheds.